Welcome back to the channel. This is the Action Figure Grader, and it's time to go through some items that are for sale, mainly, I believe, at auction on eBay right now. And gasp! I included G.I. Joes. I just had to show you some G.I. Joes that CIB/AFA has at auction, because if you're into carded and really rare G.I. Joes, you're not going to believe some of the items that they got. Really tough stuff to find, and I know some of you do like G.I. Joe, so I wanted to at least make you aware of them because they don't come up often, and there's some beauties. And of course, I've got Star Wars items. I've got, as you can see by this thumbnail, some mint on cards, some loose graded. I've got some vintage collection here. Pretty good assortment of stuff. As always, please use the video description to find eBay affiliate links for every item mentioned in this video. And if you use the links to place a low bid and then come back to try to win it later when the auction's ending, it'll give the channel credit. And it's a good way to support the channel at zero extra cost to you. Thanks to those of you that do it. Check out the video description for all the affiliate links. All right, let's go ahead and dig in. Let's start off with this seller, which we covered, I believe, yesterday in the Vintage Collection Market Update. And he's got a bunch of different AFA graded examples of Vintage Collection for sale. And he's already sold a lot of them. And I know not everybody really likes or cares for the carbonized examples that were Walmart exclusives, but I wanted to show you these because the prices are so affordable for a graded item. I mean, it's kind of hard to pass it up if you ask me. And this is an AFA 85 plus carbonized Cara Dune for 50 bucks, 85 plus. Now remember, this has got 3-tier grading. This is a modern item with 3-tier grading. It costs $55 plus shipping to and from AFA to grade it on 3-tier grading for these modern items. So he's selling it for $50 plus $14 shipping. So you're basically getting it for the cost to grade it. And, less really after you factor in shipping to and from AFA. So I can't believe they're sitting here. I mean, I sent them to my Patreon supporters, but nobody wants them. So I thought I would include them in this video. So again, I know carbonized are not for everybody, but, they are pretty nice, and the prices are kind of, you can't really beat it, right? So 50 bucks for that one. He also has, or she also has, the Remnant Stormtrooper carbonized Walmart exclusive. That one's AFA 85. That one's $45 plus $14 shipping. And then the Imperial Death Trooper is an AFA 90. Again, these are all 3-tier grading versus the single 1 through 10 number that they usually use for modern. You got to pay, I think, $10 or $15 extra to get the 3-tier grading like you see on vintage Kenner stuff. So this one's a 90 grade, and that one's at $50 plus $14 shipping. And then finally, we got VC 166, the Mandalorian, graded AFA 85 for $60 plus $14 shipping. So kind of hard to beat those prices. I know they're not, the most exciting things in the world. They're all fairly common items, but 3 of them are Walmart exclusives, and the other one is the first issue Mandalorian. So you can't really beat those prices if you ask me. Go ahead and check out Jabba's Palace Collectibles. I don't know them personally. I just wanted to at least point these out. All right, LM Lane, seller that I've bought from in the past and seller that I've covered in various market updates. He's got this Hong Kong Luke Farm Boy that looks to be in really good shape, probably easily an 80 or 80 plus. It's got to be an 80. I mean, at a minimum. It's in really, really clean shape. Hardly any problems at all with it that I can see. This one's at auction. Ends Sunday evening at 6:45 Eastern time. So he's got a Hong Kong. He's got other stuff as well. So go check out his other items, seller's other items. And the other one I wanted to show you is this die-cast land speeder. That's in excellent condition, pretty much near mint plus condition. That's a starting bid of $10, one bid. That one also ends Sunday. And, he's got accessories for sale, lots of different items that are at auction, all ending on Sunday. So go check out his other items. But I thought those two were worth pointing out, the Luke Farm Boy and then the die-cast land speeder, in case you're into the die-cast. Here's another die-cast item. This is still sealed on the backer card that came inside the box for the die-cast Millennium Falcon. And so it's basically a flawless die-cast Falcon still sealed. So this is kind of like a cut card if you were comparing it to Kenner 3 3/4 inch figures, because it's not in the box anymore. Still sealed against that backer inside the box. That one's at $50. One bid so far. That one ends Monday at 8:30 Eastern time. So if you're looking for a really clean Falcon, I mean, that's about as clean as you can get. I mean, it looks like it's got maybe a crack on the blister there. So factor that in. But I mean, this is a good example. This is a good candidate to send in to be loose graded, right? Just really, really clean example of the Falcon. So if you get it at the right price, not a bad deal. Next up, I wanted to point this one out. This is a friend of mine who has this listed. He did not ask me to include this in the video. I'm just doing it because it's a good deal. And I don't think people realize how hard it is to find this one. This is the Return of the Jedi A baggie, ROTJ A baggie for Leia Bush. Made in Taiwan on it. Don't get confused, as he points out in the description. Don't confuse it with the ROTJ-H baggie, which is very, very common for the Leia Bush. That's the most common Leia Bush baggie. This one is not. This one is very tough to find. I see them come up maybe every 2 or 3 months ungraded. And this is not a bad deal at $295. Usually you're going to be paying $250-ish, $225-ish for just the baggie by itself. And he does have a make an offer option. So, you know, again, at first glance, it looks like, whatever. It's just a Return of the Jedi baggie for Leia Bush. But it's not. It's a much tougher to find baggie variation. The Taiwan baggie that it's a lot less easy. It's really hard to find this one. I bid on a couple of them over the years, and I've just never landed one. I've got the ROTJ-H, which is very easy to get, but this one is very tough to get. So, again, it's at $295. Make an offer on that one. Trusted seller. Here's another baggie I wanted to point out. This is another seller I bought from. This is a UKG 90% Wicket baggie, and it's listed for 160 pounds, which is $200, plus it's make an offer. And, you know, a near mint plus condition Wicket usually goes for about this price. I mean, you know, it's pretty common and loose graded. And this one is still in the baggie and presents really nicely in that kind of deluxe UKG baggie. So it's got a make an offer option. It's listed for $200 US or 160 pounds. Wicket, like a UKG 90 Wicket would probably sell for that all day long, I would think. So to me, that's a pretty decent deal for another nice looking baggie. And this is also a Palatoy A baggie, by the way. This is not one you find very often. So this is a foreign baggie as well. Not like a typical US release baggie. So foreign baggie, high grade, 90%, kind of hard to beat that price if you ask me. All right, here are the G.I. Joes. I had to cover these G.I. Joes. I don't know if some of you cover like G.I. Joes or not, but I had to show them because they're pretty desirable. This is the version 2 version of Storm Shadow, graded AFA 85. Very high grade, Series 7 34 back, but this is like the V2 version of Storm Shadow. The V1 will be coming shortly. But this one's an AFA 85. It's at $715 right now. This one ends at a weird time, 6:35 a.m. Eastern time. This one is in the U.S., but that's a very desirable version of Storm Shadow. I loved this figure growing up. It came with that little red claw in the backpack and everything. So that one's going to go for a lot of money, but we're going to cover now some items from CIB. And speaking of Storm Shadow, here is the version 1 of Storm Shadow, graded CAS 75. Card got a 75, 285 subscores, but I don't know why it got a card score of 75. It must have been something around the hang tab is what I guess there. I don't know. It seems like a harsh score, but there's a little bit of fraying around. Yeah, you can see that little crease right above the backpack bubble there. So that's probably what did it. But again, this is a really desirable G.I. Joe mint on card, and Storm Shadow is arguably one of the most desirable. That one's at $846. And that one, all of these items from CIB that I'm going to cover end on Sunday evening at 8:30-ish Eastern time. But there's Storm Shadow. They also do have the version 2 of Snake Eyes that came with Timber, his wolf. That's a really awesome item. This one is graded AFA 80. So Series 4 34 back Snake Eyes with Timber from 1985. 80, 85, 85 are the subscores on that one. That one's already at $826. I would imagine that's going to go above $1,000 pretty easily, though, given that how desirable that one is. So that one also ends Sunday, as I mentioned. Firefly, AFA 80. This is from Series 3. This is one of my favorites growing up, was Firefly, the kind of Cobra Saboteur or Demolitions expert. He was awesome, man. I just loved this figure growing up. This one is an AFA 80 as well. This is also the Peach File card. So you can see that one there. I would love to give you all pricing advice as to where these are going to end up, but I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't follow G.I. Joe anymore, but this one's a beauty. This one's got an archival case. 80, 88, 90 are the sub scores on that one. So very, very nice. Here are the big ones though. And these, you know, for G.I. Joe collectors, if you're a G.I. Joe collector, you know what you're looking at. If you don't know what you're looking at, these are probably two of the biggest grails, along with the, I think there's a Sears Hiss tank that was a motorized Hiss tank or something like that. That was very, very expensive. But I would argue that the Dreadnought Air Assault and Ground Assault box sets are probably two of the most expensive vehicles and two of the rarest vehicles because they only came in Canada. So I believe it says Sears exclusive. I don't know if they were Canada exclusives or not. I don't see any foreign or French language on the box, but this one was apparently double taped, and I would argue that, you know, for some reason AFA decided to open it because they said it was double taped, which was not factory correct. I bet it was, though. I mean, give me a break. This is probably applied by Sears employees or something. So unfortunately, they did open it to confirm the contents of it. So here's the contents, and it's all factory sealed, unused contents. But this is the Air Assault, Dreadnought Air Assault. And so they took the, I think it's the Skyhawk, and then I forgot the name of that stupid helicopter, but they kind of recolored them in Dreadnought colors, kind of blue and pinks and greens and things like that. So very, very rare, Sears exclusive Dreadnought Air Assault. And then they also have the Dreadnought Ground Assault, which they recolored the motorcycle and then the Jeep. Again, I can't remember the names of them, but these were also Sears exclusives. This one is graded AFA 80. So they're not Canada, but they are Sears exclusive. AFA 80 Dreadnought Ground Assault. But these are some of the rarest items out there. Very, very tough to find. That one's already at $2,100. So if you're into those G.I. Joe Holy Grails, there you go. That's the end of the G.I. Joes. Back to Star Wars. This one, I think, has been a relisting item. It sold and then it kind of got relisted. So I don't know if the buyer just didn't pay. But this is a seller that's pretty common on eBay. So 100% feedback with 800 transactions. But this one is a 41 back D Yoda with the brown snake. So a brown snake Yoda on an Empire Strikes Back card, very rare. Now, the label does say clear blister, but it's not. 80, 80, 85 with, it says a clear blister. But as you can see in the photos, it has very clearly yellowed since grading. So factor that into your bids. But it's unpunched with I think a Kmart or something price sticker, double or triple price sticker there, Lionel price sticker. So again, the label doesn't say yellowed on it, but it has yellowed since grading. But it's a very hard to find brown snake version of Yoda on an Empire Strikes Back card, which most of them are orange snakes, the 32Bs. So 41D, AFA 80, yellowed blister. That was at $221. That one ends Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Here's a beauty. This one is in stunning condition. I am very tempted on this one. Also a trusted seller. I haven't bought from this seller, but I see them all the time. This 21 back with the Secret Star Wars action figure offer Power Droid is in pretty impeccable condition. I've looked at it really closely. It's got very faint edge wear, very faint. In the upper left there's one little faint crease there. You know, just light edge wear all the way around it. But this one's got the Secret Star Wars action figure for the Power Droid. The blister looks to be pretty much flawless. I can't see anything wrong with it. And this one is a beauty. So just, I got to believe this one's going to go for a lot of money. I mean, that blister, the stem, everything on it is in pretty much perfect condition. I think that this one would grade an 80 plus, if not potentially an 85. 80, 85, 85, 80 plus at a minimum. No way it grades less than an 80 plus. So this one's at $455. This one ends at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So again, if you're watching this video, I release my videos, you know, Friday afternoon. This one's going to end pretty quickly after I release this video at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So factor that in. But that is a gorgeous example of the 21 back Power Droid. I mean, that blister, I don't know if I've seen that blister, that good of a blister for the Power Droid because it's such a small figure and it's got such a long stem. Usually the stem just gets hammered and it's all crushed and everything like that. But that is a beauty. I wish I could buy that. Here's a Kenner Canada 77 back for Princess Leia. This one's at $135 from the same seller. Slightly yellowed blister, but pretty much flawless as well. This one would probably grade an 85, yellowed 85. Very, very nice example. And that one also ends Friday evening at 6:41 Eastern time. So again, keep in mind that this is going to end very quickly after I release this video. Here is a Power of the Force Luke Skywalker in battle poncho. It does have some very faint creases around the hang tab that you can see to the left and the right. It's unpunched, no price sticker. And it also has a very faint crease to the left at the very top by the blister. So I think this one probably still easily grades an 80. I don't think it gets the 80 plus because of those 2 or 3 creases, but I think it easily gets an 80. That's a beautiful example. Very faint yellowing to the blister. That one's at $202.50. That one ends Sunday at 4:27 Eastern time. And then finally, I had to show you this one. This is listed from a friend of mine. He did not ask me to show this in the video. I'm doing it because he's a friend of mine, friend of the channel, and he has a UKG 90% vinyl cape Jawa, brand new case style, an absolute stunner. And this is a trusted collector, has one of the greatest collections in the UK for modern Star Wars especially. But I mean, obviously he's got vintage stuff that most people would dream to own, and this is certainly one of them. So this one is a UKG 90, and this is also the smooth blaster, which is, you know, the no bump blaster for the Jawa. And that is a stunner. And that one, this auction ends Saturday at 1:10 Eastern time in the US. The current bid is 1,950 pounds, which equates to $2,400 US. We just saw a couple of these that ended around, you know, $3,800 to $4,400. So that gives you a rough price target as to where these have been ending up for UKG 90s. That's very, very hard to get. I don't care whether it's AFA or UKG or CAS. To get a 90 grade and for a vinyl cape Jawa is extremely difficult to do. That's basically case fresh for the figure. So bid accordingly, and good luck on the sale to my friend who had this one listed. And that is pretty much it. If you guys can please use the eBay affiliate links in the video description, I would appreciate the channel support. Thank you as always for watching. Happy hunting, and I'll talk to you soon.